Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, creator of Modern Health Myths and master of health and longevity. And today we're going to talk about AFib, or irregular heartbeat. Generally, we shouldn't feel our heartbeat. Anytime we can feel our heartbeat, it's something, the technical term becomes palpitations. And when the heart isn't beating in rhythm, we can feel that sensation when it's happening in the atrium, the smaller vessel, the smaller chamber of the heart. It's called atrial fib or AFib. It's relatively common. The problem with AFib is that it increases your risk of things like stroke, because when you're not having blood flowing through things evenly, it's more likely to clot and send off a thrombus or a clot that can create a stroke, which is generally something we'd like to avoid. So a lot of times people with AFib are put on things like blood thinners. Well, AFib isn't something that just happens. Just like everything else, we know that there are a lot of factors that play a role. I've got a book on migraines and epilepsy, and I could easily tweak it and make it an AFib book, because the way the heart regulates rhythm is much the same way that we regulate seizure activity or not firing in the brain. So it's a topic that I understand quite well. This particular study looked at the American Heart Association's 7 factors. I pointed these out before. These 7 factors are really low baseline, so it's not hard to achieve them. On the list, they are cholesterol, maintaining a good cholesterol, maintaining a good fasting blood sugar, maintaining a healthy weight, exercise. And again, exercise is not what I would consider healthy, but just the basic exercise, maintaining good blood pressure, not smoking, and a healthy diet. And again, all of these factors are the low end of the bar. So when we're talking about exercise, we're not talking about short bursts. We're talking about the minimum amount of exercise required to have some type of benefit. Same thing with the diet. The diet is very general. It's not a very specific diet or not a very stringent diet. These are not hard factors to follow. Despite that, very few people achieve all 7. In most cases, almost nobody achieves all 7 here in the United States. But this particular study followed a group of patients, almost 2,400, so a little 2,363 patients, and they checked them at one particular visit, and they assessed how many of these factors they were following, and they gave them a rank from 0 to 14. Didn't really look into the ranking, but basically the higher the number, the better you were taking care of yourself. They then followed these people for around 22, 23 years. So at the start of the study, the average age was 57. At the end of the study, the average age was 79. And they looked at that follow-up study, they put people on a continuous monitoring patch, and they make sure it's on the left side, and to see how many people had AFib on that. And they found that up to 9% of the population of this group had either continuous AFib or intermittent AFib. And so 81% or 91% didn't have AFib, but the people that did, they found that the higher the number of factors they had, so the better their score, the more of the good things they were doing, the lower their risk of AFib. To put it specifically, for every 1 point, keep in mind this is a 14-point scale, it went 13% lower risk of having AFib. That's you start heading those up, and that's quite a change in lowering your risk of having AFib. As we start getting older, AFib creates problems, as I mentioned, like stroke. It's not something we want to help happen. But in general, these 7 factors are easy enough to maintain. And while this is just AFib that they looked at, you could fill in the blank for just about any other chronic health condition that you'd like to avoid. And these factors are going to be protective. So as always, I'll actually list the 7 factors in the comment section, as well as a link to in the description, as well as a link to this particular study. Make sure you share this video with somebody who you think needs to be taking better care of their heart. Subscribe to the channel, and I think that was it.